opioid analgesics from the medicinal chemistry point of view. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss the structural aspects and structural activity relationship, different opioid analgesic, their structural modification and all that. So those important points for GPAT Niper that will be discussed over here. Not each and everything will be discussed. So first of all, they will interact with the opioid receptor or behave like a morphine. So the first opioid was isolated by this Sar Turner in 1905, which was having potent analgesic activity. That is the morphine from the papaverum somniferum. That is a opium poppy. Okay. So opioid analgesics, these are nothing but these are the drug which will interact or which will combine with the opioid receptor. What are the opioid receptor? We have discussed in the last lecture. So that are nothing but the mu, kappa, delta receptor and opioid like peptides like Nascopene, like enkephalin and all that. So these are the drug which will interact with the opioid receptor and produce morphine like action. Morphine like action means in the sense analgesic action, euphoric action, right? Constipating action. So these are the drug that will produce morphine like actions. These narcotic analgesic, you know that they are also known as central analgesic or narcotic analgesics. Why they are known as narcotic analgesic? Because they have a property to cause a dependence, to cause a habituation. That's why they are known as a narcotic analgesics. Okay, and long-term use of these drugs like morphine, codeine, thibane, and all other narcotic drugs. All of them, 90% of them, all the drugs they have addiction liability. Few drug will have less addiction liability. Few drug will have more addiction liability. That is the only difference, and that difference is because of the structural difference of the narcotic analgesics. So Sar Turner in 1905 was first isolated a potent analgesic. Potent means what? So if any drug is able to produce or elicit a pharmacological response in a very small amount or very small quantity, that is nothing but the potent, or that is nothing but the, so that is a potent principle was after isolated from Sar Turner in 1905. That was a morphine. And what are the opioid? Opioid are the drugs that will interact with opioid receptor and they will show morphine like actions. Okay, and they are also known as central analgesics, or they are also known as a narcotic analgesic, because they used to have one property, that is nothing but the causing of dependence, physical dependence, then addiction, etc., etc., on long term use. Okay, so if anyone use morphine for long term, then he or she will get addicted to the morphine. Analgesic action. Now these opioid analgesics, they have promising analgesic action, but at the same time they has a numerous adverse effect like constipation, then sedation, then euphoria, then release of prolactin and all that we have seen in the last lecture. So all the adverse effect. So opioid are the drug, those drug which will relieve your pain by acting on opioid receptors. Okay, so these are the opioid drugs. There are two types of alkaloid present in the opium. So first one is a phenanthrene alkaloids and second one is a benzyl isoquinoline alkaloids. So in the phenanthrene class you have morphine, codeine and thibane. Morphine, codeine, thibane, they belongs to phenanthrene class, and this papaverine and narcotin belongs to isoquinoline class. Okay, so all these are the natural alkaloids. Okay, these are the natural alkaloids present in the opium. After that they has been modified structurally, and you are getting a new semi-synthetic derivative of all the narcotic analgesics. So you have to remember which one is a benzyl isoquinoline derivative. So normally they don't ask the phenanthrene derivative, but they used to ask a benzyl isoquinoline derivative, papaverine, narcotin. Okay, so opioid analgesic, they will act as a agonist to a various opioid receptor or endogenous peptide known as endorphins, enkephalins, and other. Okay, so these are nothing but the endogenous peptides we have seen in the previous lecture. Opioid, you know what are the mechanism of action of opioid analgesic? They will opioid receptor, they will interact with the receptor. Okay, the opioid receptor are nothing but the G protein coupled receptor family. They belongs to GPCR family. Okay, so they are present in the presynaptic as well as postsynaptic neuron. If they are present in the presynaptic neuron, they will block the entry of calcium ion channel inside the neuronal cell. So they will prevent the depolarization of neuron and prevent the sensation of pain, or prevent the impulse formation or impulse transmission. And if they are present on the postsynaptic membrane, then they will increase the entry of potassium ion and hyperpolarize the post-synaptic membrane, so that again the result will be same. It will prevent the propagation of nerve impulse, it will prevent the sensation, or it will prevent the generation of impulse. So they will act like this. So we have seen in this in the last lecture this also. So it is just an introduction. Then morphine produces analgesia by acting on it's the receptor, acting on receptor. Which are the receptor? These are nothing but the mu, kappa and delta. We have seen in the last lecture. The morphine produces analgesia in both central as well as peripheral. Means it will act on center, higher centers, like those are present in the brain. So morphine will produce analgesia by acting on a receptor present in both, that is higher center as well as spinal cord. Okay. And now this theory how morphine produces the analgesia was proposed, and it is proved, it is supported by three things. First one is the structure activity relationship of morphine and their compounds, then structural similarity between opioid agonist and antagonist, then competitive inhibition of morphine by its antagonist, right? So this theory was proposed and it was proved because of three reasons. It is SAR, then structural similarity between the opioid analgesic and competitive inhibition of morphine by its antagonist like naloxone, naltrexone, nalbopine, nalomorphine. So what is the ideal requirement of opioid structure? So ideal opioid structure is represented by one frame, that is a lead structure. Okay. So ideal opioid structure is represented by morphine, which are the essential structural features for a perfect fit of narcotic analgesic on the receptor. This is the ideal structure of any narcotic analgesic. So a narcotic analgesic will have these structure. Okay, I will explain this: A, B, C and D. So these are the four portions. A narcotic analgesic must have these four aspects in their structure. So what are these? These are nothing but this is a phenyl ring, or this is phenyl ring or aromatic portion. Then this B is nothing but the quaternary carbon. You can see three bond and this is four bond, quaternary carbon. So phenyl ring, quaternary carbon, then ethylene bridge. See, this is a ethylene bridge, CH2CH2. This ethylene bridge is there, and this is a tertiary nitrogen. So what are the important structural aspects of narcotic analgesic? So first one is a aromatic ring, second one is a quaternary carbon, then third one is a ethylene bridge, and fourth one is a tertiary nitrogen. So if any compound is having this structural feature in it, then it may act as a narcotic analgesic. Is that clear? As we have seen, there are two types: phenanthrene derivative and benzyl isoprene derivative. So first one is a phenanthrene derivative. Phenanthrene means what? Phena means phenyl ring. Phena means phenyl ring, and three means three rings. So you are getting a three rings here over here. So the nucleus is known as phenanthrene. Numbering will start from here only: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a phenanthrene ring. So morphine, codeine, thibane, these three alkaloids are the phenanthrene derivative. Okay. So we'll see the structure of each. So morphine is present 10% in the opium, codeine is present around 0.5%, and thibane is present around 0.2%. Out of these, morphine and codeine has an analgesic property. In addition to that, codeine has a antitussive property. Then thibane is a non-analgesic. Now the structure of morphine. What is the structure of morphine? You can see here, it is a structure of morphine. Try to concentrate on the cursor of mouse. So it is a morphine. So morphine is a, remember over here, whatever modification will be there, it will be around this hydroxyl group and this hydroxyl group. So around, if you see the molecule of morphine, if you see the structure of morphine, so it has this is a phenyl ring. This is not a phenyl ring. This is a alkyl ring. Okay. So here is no aromatic. Here is no conjugation. So in this ring there is no conjugation, but in this ring there is a conjugation. That's why this hydroxyl group is known as a phenolic hydroxyl group, and this hydroxyl group is known as a alcoholic hydroxyl group. Okay. This hydroxyl group is alcoholic because you don't have any conjugation over here. So that's why it is an alcoholic hydroxyl group. So this hydroxyl group will behave as an alcohol, and this hydroxyl group will behave as a phenol. Okay. So phenolic hydroxyl group and alcoholic hydroxyl group. Okay. So now codeine is nothing but the methoxy derivative of morphine. So you just have to replace this hydroxyl group by methoxy group, OCH3. Okay, so here you can see this is the CH3O. Okay, so rest of the things are same. So codeine and morphine, they have only one difference. Methoxymorphine is a codeine. Okay, methoxymorphine is nothing but the codeine. Now what is thibane? So if you replace this both hydroxyl group by methyl, so you will get a thibane. So you can see the structure of thibane. There is just one change, that is the absence of hydroxyl group. So instead of hydroxyl group in the morphine, if you replace hydroxyl group of morphine with methyl group, then you will get a thibane. Okay, so both these three alkaloids are present naturally in the opium. Okay, so you should able to distinguish between the structural aspect of this three. Okay, now this this is a ether linkage. Remember, this is a ether linkage. Okay, this is a ether linkage. Now next one is a heroin. So heroin is a totally synthetic molecule. It is a totally synthetic molecule, or you can call it as a semi-synthetic or synthetic. Okay, so what is heroin? It is a diacetyl derivative of morphine. So if you take a structure of this framework of morphine, put over here and just try to methylate these two hydroxyl group. Diacetyl morphine. Okay, so diacetyl morphine is nothing but the heroin. So you can see here acetyl group are there. Here is also acetyl group. So diacetyl derivative of morphine is nothing but the heroin. Okay, so these are the phenanthrene type of. Now how these alkaloids will interact with the receptor. So there was one theory proposed by Beckett and Cash in 1954. He stated that opioid receptor are composed of three components. So which are the three components? So opioid receptor will have three portions. So first portion will be flat portion of receptor. Okay, will interact with the phenyl ring. So phenyl ring of your molecule. For example, take an example of morphine. Okay, so see here. So here is the structure of morphine. For example, this morphine phenyl ring. Okay, this phenyl ring is their hydrogen group. This is a tertiary nitrogen over there. Okay, so this phenyl group will react the flat portion of your receptor. So it is a receptor. It is a receptor. This diagram is a receptor of opioid receptor. This is a opioid molecule. For example, morphine. So this opioid receptor has a three portions. Okay, so flat portion is there. Then okay, so phenyl ring of morphine will interact with the flat portion of your receptor. Then then this ring interact with the receptor via van der Waals process. Okay, then second is the ethylene bridge. So this ethylene bridge will react with the hollow portion, shallow और hollow जो cavity बना है यहाँ पे, cavity के ऊपर जो ethylene bridge है वो वहाँ पे attach होगा. और उसके बाद में जो और रहता है tertiary nitrogen. So tertiary nitrogen is essential for crossing the BBB. Tertiary nitrogen will bring lipophilic character. Tertiary nitrogen will bring lipophilic character to the molecule, and it may be easily cross. It can cross easily the BBB, blood-brain barrier. Then what is the chemistry of opioid? The chemistry of opioid, it was studied by AD and co-workers. So they have done a modification. Before that, what was there? So before 1920, modification by ED and co-worker. First one. So this morphine has a one chiral carbon, and that's why morphine has actually 4 chiral carbon, and this LEO isomer of morphine is mostly active. So LEO isomer of morphine has an analgesic activity, and dextro is not having analgesic activity. So why it is so? Because see, so alkaloids are biosynthesized in the plant, okay, from the amino acid itself, and amino acids are present in the nature in a LEO form. So L amino acid you might have seen in the biochemistry. I have also taught you regarding the biochemistry. L amino acids. So L alanine, L phenylalanine, L tyrosine, L valine, L leucine, etc. etc. So these opioid analgesics, these alkaloids are biosynthesized in the plant from amino acid itself, and amino acid itself is a L amino acids. So L amino acids abundantly occur in the nature, and that's why the most of the drugs from plant origin, they will have a LEO configuration. Remember, okay, and why? But why? This LEO configuration will interact with the receptor present in our body in a very good manner. That's why. So most of the plant product or plant alkaloids, they are LEO in nature. There are certain exceptions. That is another thing. But there are mostly they are LEO isomers. So LEO isomer of morphine is more active than dextro, remember. Okay, then it has an absolute configuration at 5R, 6S, 9R. ये छोड़ो, ये इतना important नहीं है, but still you should know 5R, 6S, 9R, 13S and 14R. Codeine, another molecule after morphine. So it is a 1/10 analgesic than the morphine. So morphine is a very potent analgesic, but codeine is less potent than morphine. Okay, it is a 1/10 analgesic than morphine, and this indicates that whatever hydroxyl group are there, okay, so phenolic hydroxyl group are there. So that is important for greater potency. Okay, that hydroxyl group is more important for. Then again, heroin is a diacetyl morphine. So it will diacetylation of morphine will impart a high lipophilic character to the molecule, and that will get you will get a heroin. Okay, so heroin is a more lipophilic than morphine because of introduction of methoxy group. It will increase the lipophilicity, and as lipophilicity is increased, it can easily cross the blood-brain barrier, and it will become more potent. Because you know, to cross a biological membrane, a drug molecule needs to be a lipophilic, and to eliminate from the body, a drug molecule needs to be water soluble. कि drug molecule को आपके body में entry होने के लिए lipophilic होना चाहिए, और body से exit होने के लिए वो वाटर सोल्यूबल होना चाहिए. इतना याद रखो आप. ये इट वाज ये वेरी फर्स्ट लेक्चर में मैंने बोला था आपको कि व्हेन वी वाज डिस्कसिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ एब्जॉर्प्शन. नाउ दिस morphine is converted in body after metabolism into this heroin is converted into body after metabolism 6-acetyl morphine and morphine. So heroin is a diacetyl morphine. So this was the drug receptor interaction of opioid. Now next point is benzyl isoquinoline alkaloid. So it is a isoquinoline ring. Okay, so this ring is a isoquinoline ring. So what is the difference between quinoline ring and isoquinoline ring? There is only one difference. So just remember, when we were studying in diploma pharmacy, our madam used to tell us, so whenever there is a isoterm, अगर आपको वहाँ पे कोई isoterm आ गया हेटेरोसाइक्लिन में, iso मतलब क्या है? Iso में मतलब near, iso मतलब शेजारी. So quinoline का स्ट्रक्चर क्या होगा? Quinoline का स्ट्रक्चर नॉर्मल quinoline जो न्यूक्लियस होता है ये यहाँ पे नाइट्रोजन होगा, एक नंबर पे नाइट्रोजन होगा. बट एज इट इज isoquinoline, ये दो नहीं, iso means शेजारी, near, so it is a isoquinoline. And why it is a benzyl isoquinoline? Isoquinoline nucleus with benzyl ring. This is a benzyl ring. Okay, benzyl ring along with isoquinoline nucleus. So it is a benzyl isoquinoline derivative. So which one is a drug? That is nothing but the papaverine. Okay, so it is a structure of papaverine. Just isoquinoline ring आपने जैसे को वैसे लिया, और यहाँ पे जो पोजिशंस है, जो पोजिशंस है वो 4 पोजिशन पे आपको मिथॉक्सी ग्रुप डालना है, बस हो गया पापावेरिन का स्ट्रक्चर. ओके, सो यहाँ पे 6-7 position will have dimethoxy. Then again this 3 and 4 dash position of this ring will have dimethoxy. So that is a papaverine. So papaverine is a 1% found in the 1% in the opium. Okay, so papaverine is only present in 1%. So it is a non-analgesic. Papaverine does not have any analgesic property, but it has a spasmolytic property. So it will relieve your spasm, unwanted contraction of smooth muscle. Okay, so it will relieve your spasm. Then spasm, sorry. Then another molecule is there, Nascopene, which is also present in the opium, which is a 6%. Both are the naturally present. Okay, again this Nascopene is also non-analgesic. Again morphine was modified after 1929 by small AD and co-workers again. So they studied a morphine structure, they modified it. So what are the chemical aspects, what are the structural aspects of morphine? So it will be discussed here. Okay, so morphine structure, remember this is a basic skeleton. Okay, ये morphine का structure है, जैसे कि वैसे morphine का structure. So numbering यहाँ से start होगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, then 9 10, then 11 12 13 14 15 16. ये टर्मिनल जो नाइट्रोजन ग्रुप है, टर्शियरी नाइट्रोजन, उसको आता है 17 पोजीशन. ठीक है, so 3 पोजीशन पे hydroxyl group है, that is known as a phenolic hydroxyl group. Okay, it is a ether bridge. Okay, ether bridge. Then this is known as alcoholic hydroxyl group, and यहाँ पे एक double bond है ना, so that's why it is a alicyclic ring. It is not a aromatic ring. So this ring is aromatic, but it is not aromatic. It is a alicyclic ring. So there is one unsaturated leakage. Then tertiary nitrogen. So it is a structural feature of a narcotic analgesic, that is a morphine. Now we will see structure activity relationship and modification of alicyclic ring. Okay, so now this there are three sorry there are three three four steps where you can modify the structure of morphine. So you can modify this hydroxyl group, phenolic hydroxyl group. You can modify this alcoholic hydroxyl group. You can remove this ether bridge. Okay, then you can remove this unsaturation. Then again there is one more. You can methylate this side. Methylation can be done over here. कार्बन नंबर 14 ये जो हाइड्रोजन है यहाँ पे मिथाइलेशन कर सकते हो आप या फिर हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप भी डाल सकते हो. सो ये एक हो गया. उसके बाद ये जो नाइट्रोजन है इसके ऊपर जो आर है ये आर भी आप मॉडिफाई कर सकते हो टू गेट अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ narcotic analysis. So there are sites of modification. What are these? You can change this hydroxyl group, then you can change this hydroxyl group, then you can change this ether bridge, then you can change this double bond. You can remove this double bond. Okay, then you can add different group over here, this carbon 14, and you can change the R group present on the nitrogen 17. Okay, so now first one is a modification of alicyclic ring. कौन एलिसाइक्लिक रिंग कौन सा है? ये एलिसाइक्लिक रिंग ये एरोमेटिक रिंग है. ठीक है, ये एरोमेटिक रिंग है, ये एलिसाइक्लिक रिंग. So modification of alicyclic ring. Okay, so at carbon number 6 alcoholic group can be methylated or esterified, or it can be oxidized, or it can be removed or replaced by hydrogen in order to get more potent analgesics. Okay, so you can alter this hydrogen group, you can remove these, you can add, oxidize it, you can methylate it, you can esterify it. Okay, to get a different kind of other narcotic analgesics which are very potent. Okay, for example codeine, heroin, chromomorphine. In case of codeine, heroin, and heroin in case of heroin it is a acetyl. Okay, so these both, in case of heroin both hydroxyl group are replaced by acetyl group. In case of codeine only this hydroxyl group is replaced. Then at carbon number 8, now at carbon number 8, dehydration result into the dihydrocodone or dihydromorphine derivative. So removal of this double bond at carbon number 8 will give you dihydrocodone or dihydromorphine. मतलब if it is a structure of morphine and if you remove this hydrogen, you will name this structure as a dihydromorphine. If it is a structure of codeine, if you remove this double bond, then it will be dihydrocodeine. Okay, so that is also a more potent ketone derivative like dihydrocodone and dihydromorphone. Then next is at carbon number 14. At carbon number 14, introduction of hydroxyl group will result in the more potent dihydro form, that is a 14 hydroxy dihydrocodeine or 14 hydroxy dihydromorphine. अगर if it is structure of morphine and if you try to introduce hydroxyl group over here, so you will get 14 hydroxy dihydrocodeine. Okay, so likewise that. Then bridging between C6 and C14 will result into more potent, 200 times potent than morphine. ये जो कार्बन नंबर 6 है यहाँ से लेके 14 तक अगर ब्रिज किया आपने, कार्बन नंबर 14 और ये कार्बन नंबर 6, इनके दोनों के बीच में अगर लिंक कर दिया आपने, ब्रिज कर दिया, that will give you more potent compound, that is 200 times more potent than morphine. So it is nothing but the etorphine. Okay, etorphine. Again, modification of phenyl ring. Okay, now firstly we have seen this modification of this alicyclic ring. Now modification of phenyl ring. So intact benzene ring. So intact benzene ring. This benzene ring is very important. Intact benzene ring is essential for the activity. So whatever analgesic activity you are getting from morphine molecule, so if you try to alter this benzene ring, means अगर आपने इसमें का डबल बॉन्ड रिमूव किया या फिर ये बेंजीन रिंग को दूसरा रिंग में रिप्लेस किया तो एक्टिविटी नहीं रहेगा. सो दिस बेंजीन रिंग इज एसेंशियल फॉर एक्टिविटी. मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ दिस फिनाइल ग्रुप कैन बी डन. ओके, it can be done. Okay, it can be done as in case of codeine and as in case of heroin. Okay, in case of codeine you have methoxy group, in case of heroin you have acetoxy group. Any substitution on phenyl ring lost the activity. अगर any substitution on this carbon number 4, 3, 1, 2, any substitution will lose the activity except you can introduce fluorine over carbon number 1. You can introduce fluorine over carbon number 1 to get a equipotent molecule. ठीक है, यहाँ पे ज्यादा कुछ चेंज नहीं कर सकते आप. यहाँ पे अगर करना है आपको तो यहाँ पे फ्लोरीन ऐड कर सकते हो. मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ टर्शियरी नाइट्रोजन. नाउ व्हाट यू कैन डू ओवर हियर, this R group, when N-methyl is substituted with N-pentene or N-hexyl, which will result into opioid antagonist. Okay, अभी देखो मॉर्फिन में क्या है कि यहाँ पे सिर्फ मिथाइल ग्रुप है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे सिर्फ मिथाइल है मॉर्फिन के स्ट्रक्चर में या कोडिन के स्ट्रक्चर में या फिर थीवेन के स्ट्रक्चर में. लेकिन अगर ये मिथाइल की जगह आपने पेंटिल ग्रुप डाल दिया, N-pentyl और N-hexyl और एलिल ग्रुप डाल दिया, मतलब एलिल ग्रुप डाल दिया, मतलब CH2 डबल बॉन्ड CH2 CH3 ऐसा कुछ, या फिर आपने साइक्लोप्रोपेन डाल दिया वो यहाँ पे साइक्लोप्रोपेन ग्रुप, तो दैट विल रिजल्ट इन एंटीगोनिस्टिक एक्टिविटी. दैट मॉलिक्यूल विल बी एंटागोनिस्ट. ओके, अगर यहाँ पे अगर कुछ भी चेंजेस किया, मतलब यहाँ पे अगर डाला तो यहाँ पे एंटागोनिस्टिक मॉलिक्यूल मिलेगा आपको, जैसे आपका नेलोक्सेन हो गया, नेल्ट्रक्सेन हो गया. सो एनी रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ दिस हाइड्रोजन दिस R group by N-pentyl or N-hexyl result into opioid antagonist like your nalorphine, nalomorphine, naltrexone, etc. Then N-phenyl ethyl group. N-phenyl ethyl group, अगर phenyl ethyl group डाल दिया यहाँ पे, so that will increase the activity like desmorphine, demorphine, then codeine, heterocodone, N-alkyl, N-cycloalkyl methyl substitution get narcotic antagonist. So it is a modification of your tertiary nitrogen. So we have seen the modification of alicyclic group, alicyclic ring. We have seen the modification of phenolic ring. We have seen the structural modification of tertiary nitrogen. Okay, so this was SAR of morphine. Now what is the structure of morphine? See, it is the structure of morphine. Okay, so both side पे दो हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप है, फिनाइल रिंग है, यहाँ पे एक ब्रिजिंग है नाइट्रोजन के ऊपर, यहाँ पे एक मिथाइल ग्रुप. ये मॉर्फिन का मॉडिफिकेशन करे. सो स्ट्रक्चरल डायसेक्शन ऑफ मॉर्फिन, स्ट्रक्चरल डायसेक्शन ऑफ मॉर्फिन. सो मॉलिकुलर डायसेक्शन ऑफ मॉर्फिन. अगर इसको तोड़ दिया आपने ये स्ट्रक्चर को मॉर्फिन के, डिफरेंट वे से देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज टू डायसेक्ट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ मॉर्फिन. सो यू आर गेटिंग ए डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ molecules which are also active and will have different pharmacological actions and level of adverse effect. Okay, so molecular dissection of morphine, are you getting or not? Hello, so this morphine can be dissected. इसका breakdown करने है अपने morphine structure का, तो कैसे कैसे there are different ways. कितने वे है कि morphine को आप dissect कर सकते हो. So first way, you can remove this ether bridge. You can remove this ether bridge. If you remove this ether bridge, you will get a N-methyl morphine derivative. N-methyl morphine derivative. Just remove this ether bridge. You will get a N-methyl morphine derivative. Then, in addition to this, if you remove this ring, this alicyclic ring, then you will get a benzomorphine derivative. ये देखो, ये यहाँ पे ये निकल गया तो इतना बचेगा. ठीक है, इसको बोलते हैं N-methyl morphine derivative. ये एक अलग क्लास है. अगर इसमें का ये भी निकल दिया, ये भी निकल दिया, ये दोनों रिंग निकल दिए, ये ईथर ब्रिज और ये alicyclic ring. So you are getting benzomorphine derivative. Okay, so remaining structure will be like this, benzomorphine derivative. And in addition to this, again ये भी रिमूव किया आपने, ये ईथर ब्रिज, ये alicyclic ring भी रिमूव किया, और ये जो तीसरा रिंग है ये भी रिमूव किया. You are getting this structure. This is known as meperidine. So here also you have different class, meperidine. And again this bemidone is there. So if you remove all these three structures, all these three, ether bridge, benzene ring and this ring, and if you introduce simple benzene ring, piperidine ring, that will also get a bemidone derivative. Then again methadone is another class. Another class is the methadone. So in case of methadone, so you will not have here phenyl ring structure. Okay, so you just have diphenyl ring, then here ether that is acetyl ether, acetoacetic acid ether. Then this tertiary nitrogen is not present in the ring, this is separate. So dimethyl amino. Okay, so this is a methadone. So methadone category of drug, they will have a structure like this. Meperidine derivative will be like this. Okay, then protein is like only your meperidine. So you can break down the structure of morphine in this way, and you are getting different classes of narcotic analgesic. Okay, so N-methyl morphine, then benzomorphine, then meperidine, then protein, methadone, and bimidone. Now it is a structure of thibane. There is just methyl group instead of hydroxyl group in the morphine. So there is a thibane. So derivative of thibane. So dial adduct of diene and thibane, collectively known as oripavins. Okay, dial सल्फर adduct of diene and thibane. अगर diene जो ऐड किया है यहाँ पे ये टर्मिनल नाइट्रोजन, that will result you oripavins, which will get you more potent, that is 700 times more potent than morphine without adverse effect of morphine. That is known as atropine, which is a pure agonist, and it is around 1000 times more potent. It is not much important, but still you should know, and it has an adverse effect. That's why. Okay, so atropine is a pure agonist and 1000 times more potent than morphine, but it has an adverse effect, and that's why it is used restricted only veterinary practice. कि अगर कोई सांड है पागल हो गया है, बहुत बड़ा है, उसको इंजेक्शन देने का, इसका इटोरपिन का, वो सेडेशन हो जाएगा उसको और शांत हो जाएगा. Then again buprenorphine is also 100 times active as morphine and 4 times active like a nalorphine. Nalorphine is an antagonist, which is a partial agonist antagonist. Without buprenorphine, a narcotic antagonist, because we are doing changes over here, so any change over here will result in the antagonistic activity. Remember, so dynorphine is a narcotic antagonist, 100 times more potent than nalorphine. Okay, so nalorphine, buprenorphine, then this buprenorphine, and nalorphine, these are the narcotic analgesic, narcotic antagonist. Buprenorphine, a narcotic antagonist, 100 times more potent than nalorphine, and generally the morphine series replacement of N-methyl group by ये methyl group है, by replacement of this methyl group by alkyl group or any cycloalkyl group or alicyclic group will result antagonistic activity. Will not only lower the analgesic activity but potentiate the narcotic antagonistic activity of the molecule. यहाँ पे अगर चेंज करेंगे alicyclic ring का डालेंगे, या फिर कोई साइक्लोप्रोपाइल रिंग डालेंगे, या फिर कोई n प्रोपाइल अल्काइल रिंग डालेंगे, तो दैट विल रिजल्ट इन द एंटागोनिस्टिक. सेम जैसे मॉर्फिन का सार था, वैसे थिबेन का सार है. नाउ सार ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरल एक्टिविटी रिलेशनशिप ऑफ मेथाडोन सीरीज. सो इट इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ मेथाडोन. You will have 2 phenyl ring. Here you will have acetoxy, you will have ethoxy group over here. Okay, ethoxymethyl, diphenyl ethoxymethyl. Then this nitrogen is again tertiary nitrogen, but it is not present in the ring, it is outside the ring. So dimethyl amino, one dimethyl amino propyl. Okay, so this is the methadone. Okay, so insertion of insertion of meta hydroxyl group in one of the phenyl ring. ये जो phenyl ring है यहाँ पे, ये जो pH लिखा है यहाँ पे ring है. Okay, imagine करो यहाँ पे ring है, ठीक है. So any meta hydroxyl group in the any one of the phenyl ring will decrease the activity. Okay, will decrease the methadone derivative are generally more potent analgesic and toxic than isomethadone derivative. ये एक है, इतना important नहीं है इसमें. Replacement of propenyl group by amide result in more active compound. ये जो propenyl group है, तो इसमें अगर amide डालेंगे, amide result in a more active compound. Removal of 2 phenyl rings result to decrease activity. अगर आपने ये phenyl ring यहाँ से remove किया, तो that will decrease the activity. This will be a methadone series. Now next one is N-desmethylation derivative. N-demethylation derivative are metabolites of methadone. Means ये जो demethylation होगा यहाँ पे इसका, ये जो डीमिथाइलेशन होगा मेथाडोन का, so that will result in the its metabolite after metabolism. ये बॉडी में जाने के बाद डीमिथाइलेशन होगा, that will result in the metabolites of methadone that might be active or not. Most of the time they are not active. So dimethyl amino group can be replaced by heterocyclic drug like morphine or piperidine. Okay, so this dimethyl amino group it can be replaced by piperidine. Piperidine इसमें एक रिंग डाल सकते हो आप, piperidine ring. So nitrogen should be tertiary. Okay, again अगर piperidine रिंग डालना आपने तो भी nitrogen tertiary रहेगा. Now next one is the SAR of meperidine series. So it is a general structure of meperidine. आपने की इसमें क्या किया, आपने इथर ब्रिज भी रिमूव किया, आपने एलिसाइक्लिक जो रिंग है वो भी रिमूव किया, उसमें इधर एक जो 6 मेंबर रिंग था वो भी रिमूव किया, और जो बाकी का बचा हुआ स्ट्रक्चर है दैट इज अ मेपेरिडीन. ओके, सो सार ऑफ मेपेरिडीन सीरीज, ये स्ट्रक्चर पे और आप क्या चेंजेस कर सकते हो. सो ड्यूरिंग द स्टडी ऑफ एंटीस्पाज्मोडिक ड्रग्स, ओके, ड्यूरिंग द स्टडी ऑफ एंटीस्पाज्मोडिक ड्रग, a reverse ester and reverse ester and isosteer resulted into synthesis of new series of compound known as meperidine, and also this meperidine along with antispasmodic property also has a promising analgesic activity. Decrease in the activity is seen by replacing the 4-phenyl group by halogen. अगर आपने ये 4-phenyl group है उसको रिप्लेस किया halogen मतलब क्लोरीन या फिर क्लोरीन ब्रोमीन आयोडीन से, या फिर अल्काइल और एरो अल्काइल एरोमेटिक अल्काइल ग्रुप और हेटेरोसाइक्लिक ग्रुप, सो दैट विल लॉस द एक्टिविटी. देन अगेन n substituted एनालॉग आर यूज्ड क्लिनिकली. यहाँ पे आप सब्स्टिट्यूशन कर सकते हो ये नाइट्रोजन का, यहाँ पे जो मिथाइल है इसके ऊपर आप एक यहाँ पे हेटेरोसाइक्लिक रिंग ऐड कर सकते हो, या फिर दूसरा कुछ प्रोपाइल साइक्लोप्रोपाइल ऐसा कुछ ऐड कर सकते हो. दैट will be also active. Replacement of carboethoxy group by isoxy group increases the analgesic. अभी ये carboethoxy group है, ठीक है, ethoxy group. Okay, so it can be replaced by acyloxy group, and that will increase the analgesic activity. Replacement of n-methyl by aryl group increases the analgesic activity. ये second point में होगा. ओके, एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ पिपरिडीन रिंग. अभी ये जो पिपरिडीन रिंग है, ठीक है, सो एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ दिस रिंग, अभी इसमें 6 मेंबर रिंग है, देखो 1 2 3 4 5 एंड 6, ये 6 मेंबर रिंग. सो एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ रिंग मींस इसको 7 मेंबर अगर करेंगे, सो एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ पिपरिडीन रिंग इनटू 7 मेंबर एजेपिन रिंग लाइक प्रोहेप्टेजिन इज एक्टिव अगेन, and it can be replaced by 5-member ring, pyridine ring also, so still it will be active. यहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चरल एस्पेक्ट क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ये नाइट्रोजन टर्शियरी होना चाहिए, तो डजंट मैटर ये रिंग 6 मेंबर्ड है या 6 मेंबर्ड है या 5 मेंबर्ड है या 7 मेंबर्ड है, सो यू कैन चेंज दिस 6 मेंबर्ड रिंग इनटू 5 मेंबर्ड रिंग और 7 मेंबर्ड रिंग, डजंट मैटर, बट दिस नाइट्रोजन शुड बी टर्शियरी. ओके, दैट इज द प्राइमरी रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ opioid drugs. Nitrogen should be tertiary. Then presence of meta-hydroxyl group in the phenyl ring will behave like a phenolic hydroxyl group in the morphine, and therefore new series of bimidone result. अगर यहाँ पे अगर मेटा पोजिशन पे आपने हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप डाल दिया, so that will give you new series known as a bimidone, and replacement of this by ketone yields new series known as a ketobimidone. So ये ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है उतना, ये कभी पूछेंगे भी नहीं आपको ये सार वगैरह, लेकिन आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. इन ऑल द अबाउट ड्रग्स phenyl ring and acyl group are directly attached to a piperidine ring. So this phenyl group and acyl group is directly attached to a piperidine ring. Okay, ये जो रिंग है 6 नंबर इसको अटैचमेंट है. When phenyl ring and acyl group are separated by nitrogen, a new series develops known as a new compound develops known as a fentanyl. ओके, सो यहाँ पे अगर आपने यहाँ पे बीच में नाइट्रोजन डाला और उसको अटैचमेंट किया, तो न्यू सीरीज विल बी डेवलप्ड नोन एज पेंटानिल, एंड दिस पेंटानिल इज 500 टाइम्स मोर पोटेंट as pethidine, and this pentanil is used for the anesthetic adjuvant individual molecules. Okay, now first one is the meperidine. मेपेरिडीन ओके, आईपैक नेम आप देख लेना इसका, ये दिया है मैंने यहाँ पे, इथाइल 1 मिथाइल 4 फिनाइल पिप्रिडिन 4 कार्बोक्सिलेट। ओके, सो ये कार्बोक्सिलेट होगा, ये जो है आपको पोर्शन ये कार्बोक्सिलेट, ये फिनाइल रिंग। ओके, अभी देखो इथाइल 1 मिथाइल, इथाइल 1 मिथाइल, ये इथाइल हो गया, ये 1 मिथाइल, इथाइल 1 मिथाइल 4 फिनाइल पिप्रिडिन 4 फिनाइल 4 पिप्रिडिन 4 carboxylate, that is a methadone. Okay, so its structure will look like this, look like morphine as well as atropine as well as histamine. ठीक है, so the structure of methadone, इसका जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो इसके साथ में थोड़ा सा रिजेंबल करता है, इसके साथ में मॉर्फिन के साथ में, एट्रोपिन के साथ में, हिस्टामाइन के साथ में, एंड ओके that's why it has a variety of actions. Okay, and this methadone is having short duration of action than morphine. जो मॉर्फिन का ड्यूरेशन ऑफ एक्शन है वो ज्यादा है, मेप्रिडिन का कम है. सो इट इज यूज्ड एज एनाल्जेसिक इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एडजुवेंट टू रिलीव mild and moderate pain, like that. Then next molecule is a diphenoxylate. Okay, next molecule is diphenoxylate. Now this diphenoxylate is used as an antidiarrheal. It is not analgesic, it is used as an antidiarrheal, okay, in case of diarrhea. So diphenoxylate, okay, so again it is a carboxylate derivative. Okay, ये जो स्केलेटन है मेप्रिडिन का, ये मेप्रिडिन का स्केलेटन जितना है उतना रहेगा. ठीक है, ये मेप्रिडिन का स्केलेटन एज इट इज है, देखो ये स्केलेटन रहेगा, सिर्फ ये जो मिथाइल ग्रुप है, ये जो मिथाइल ग्रुप है यहाँ पे मॉडिफाई किया है, ये ग्रुप डाला है. ठीक है, सो डाइफिनाइल फिनॉक्सिलेट, ये डाइफिनाइल रिंग, डाइफिनाइल फिनॉक्सिलेट. That's it. Then again next one is this. So aniline is also a meperidine derivative. Okay, so all these are the meperidine derivative, meperidine, diphenoxylate, and this aniline is also a meperidine derivative. So aniline मतलब क्या, aniline मतलब क्या, so there is a, as the name indicated, aniline मतलब there is introduction of aniline over the, ये जो मिथाइल ग्रुप है यहाँ पे एनिलीन डालो, एनिलीन पैरा अमाइनो मिथाइल, दैट इज एनिलीन. ओके, सो एनिलीन डाल दिया तो उसका रिजल्ट दैट इज नथिंग बट द एनिलिरेटिन. ओके, सो दैट विल, उसका से यूज ऑफ दिस एनिलिरेटिन इज सिमिलर टू मेपेरिडिन. ओके, सो मेपेरिडिन सिमिलर टू दिस एनिलिरेटिन. देन नेक्स्ट वन इज अ लोपेरामाइड. Okay, so this is the structure of loperamide. And this loperamide is a antidiarrheal agent. It is an antidiarrheal agent. Okay, the next one is a fentanyl. Okay, all these are the synthetic and semi-synthetic derivative of morphine. Now this is the fentanyl, structure of fentanyl. Okay, so fentanyl is a 80 times more potent analgesic than morphine, and this fentanyl is used in the anesthesia. It is used as a adjunct in the anesthesia. So fentanyl anesthesia में use होगा. Okay, then next one is a methadone. Okay, so methadone is also analgesic. It is also strong analgesic action, is having strong analgesic action. It is used in the moderate to severe pain, that is a methadone. So now this methadone is an optically active compound. Okay, this methadone is an optically active compound, and LEO isomer is a more potent analgesic. LEO isomer of this methadone is a more potent analgesic, and dextro isomer is a antitussive in nature. Okay, then next one is the propoxyphene. Now this propoxyphene is a it is an analgesic as well as strong antispasmodic agent. Okay, it is an analgesic as well as strong antispasmodic. So it is a less potent analgesic used in the moderate pain, but it is a strong antispasmodic. Okay, it is a spasmoparaxibine. There is one capsule known as a spasmoparaxibine. So that capsule consists of this propoxyphene. So it is a strong antispasmodic drug. It is also drug of abuse. ये बहुत सारे जो ड्रग्स लेते हैं ना बच्चे, मतलब जो जैसे जिनको थोड़ा बहुत नॉलेज होता है मेडिसिन का, तो वो क्या करते हैं, मॉर्फिन का बैन है ना, तो मॉर्फिन का बैन है, कोडिन का बैन है, तो ये वो मत यूज करो। क्या करो, उनका डेरिवेटिव कौन सा है वो देख लेते हैं, वो जिनको नॉलेज है वो, और डेरिवेटिव यूज करते हैं। ओके, सो दिस प्रोपोक्सिफेन इज यूज्ड एज ए एंटीस्पाज्मोडिक. Next one is a agonist antagonist to the kappa receptor, that is nothing but the pentazocine. This pentazocine is a agonist mixed agonist antagonist to the kappa receptor. And again this pentazocine is also used in the anesthesia as a adjunct drug. Okay, this is the pentazocine. A pentyl ring here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So dipentyl ring, pentazocine. Then this levorphenol, this nalorphine, then naloxone and naltrexone. Okay, so these are the antagonists to the opioid receptor. These are the opioid antagonists. Okay, levorphenol, then levorphenol and nalorphine. This is the structure of levorphenol and this is the structure of nalorphine. This is the naloxone. They are non-specific antagonists. These two, levorphenol and nalorphine, these are the non-specific antagonists to the opioid receptor. But these two, naloxone and naltrexone, these are the specific antagonists, mostly the mu receptor. Okay, so naloxone is having short duration of action. This naloxone is having short duration of action, and this naltrexone is having longer duration of action. This naloxone is used as a specific antidote for opioid poisoning, morphine particularly, and these antagonists of morphine, naloxone and naltrexone will dramatically reverse the respiratory depression caused by morphine. We have seen in the last lecture. ये जो फार्माकोलॉजी है पूरा अपने लास्ट लेक्चर में ही कवर किया है, इसमें सिर्फ स्ट्रक्चरल एस्पेक्ट कवर करना है. ठीक है, सो दिस इज नैलोपेन. ये आपने वेरी फ्यू अपने जब व्हेन वी आर स्टडीइंग द सार ऑफ मॉर्फिन, at that time we have seen the last point. So replacement of this here methyl group by propyl or allyl group or cyclopropyl group will result in the antagonistic activity. So that is nothing but the opioid analgesic as per medicinal chemistry point of view. That will end today's lecture.